Just 12 months after the euphoria of promotion, Middlesbrough's sojourn with the top flight came to rest at Hillsborough, despite an emotional victory. Borough finished the season with a flourish, taking 7 points from the final 3 games. There had been no hint of the disappointments to come in the formative weeks of the campaign, when superb victories over Manchester City and Leeds United filled Ayresome Park with optimism. There were some new faces on view too to bolster the squad that had achieved promotion. Derek White and Chris Morris from Celtic, Craig Hignett, who came from Crewe. In this exclusive official record of Borough's Premier League debut, you can thrill to some spectacular moments. Sympathise when the heartbreak of defeat becomes all too apparent. Much was made of Borough's inability to score, yet their final haul of 54 goals equalled that of high-flying Sheffield Wednesday and bettered that of Arsenal. It should have been sufficient to keep them in the Premier League. It wasn't, because the defence leaked 75 goals, and on the opening day of the season, at Highfield Road, we had a clear indication of just how porous they could be.
Wilkinson's pass going astray there, picked up by Fleming. This is McGinn. Robson making a good run. Oh, a nice early ball in from him, and 9 minutes into the season, John Williams scores. Fleming with the throw. Robson. Beautiful ball over the top. Some neat football here from Coventry City. In it comes. Oh, and they're exposed. David Smith there. 2-0. Phillips to Peake. Bolter. Good run being made through the middle by Wilkinson. Oh, and a beautiful ball delivered into his path. A chance here. Oh, and superb finishing by Wilkinson. Borough are back in the game. How about that?
Woolly defending had cost Borough the points, but Wilkinson's brilliantly executed strike was encouraging. The 2-1 defeat by City was quickly eclipsed by the scoring instincts of Bernie Slaven, as Manchester City took the Ayresome Park stage.
But now Middlesbrough can break. Bernie Slaven, and Bernie Slaven stays on side. He's only got Tony Coton to beat, and that's a great goal by Bernie Slaven, putting Middlesbrough into the lead. The Manchester City defence came out looking for the offside flag. The ball was played through, the timing was just right, and Slaven able to run through and side foot the ball coolly past Coton, giving Middlesbrough a lead on 15 minutes. Brightwell chips the ball forward for Rick Holden. Holden controls, but a good challenge by Morris. Back to Andy Hill, who plays the ball forward. Morris underneath, his route to goal cut off by the new law, not allowed to pass it back to his goalkeeper. Well, certainly he is allowed to pass it back, but not for the goalkeeper to pick it up. But Middlesbrough can break again. Slaven, challenged strongly by McMahon, but able to get the ball outside to John Hendry. Hendry plays it to Andy Peake. Andy Peake back out to Hendry, who can keep it in play. Hendry, who's a good crosser of the ball, but also likes to get at defenders and get the cross in, which he's done in this case, to Wilkinson. A fine goal, Middlesbrough. 2-0 into the lead. And it's Bernie Slaven, grabs his second.
Eight minutes later, City's problems take on another dimension, when Niall Quinn is shown the red card by referee Steve Lodge. The Republic of Ireland international dismissed for the first time in his career for this incident with Paul Wilkinson.
We knew it was Manchester City, just we needed to get off the mark. We needed to win. We haven't won for a long time with the pre-season games, and we needed to win after losing at Coventry. Losing 2 on the trot is bad news, and it's 3, then it's 4, and you've got a problem. But this sets us up nicely for the Leeds game, gives us a bit of confidence, and hopefully we can go on and do even better.
A great night for Lenny Lawrence's men, and an even better afternoon in prospect as the league champions come to town.
Drifted into that penalty area, side, but it's there, Paul Wilkinson! Really a goal from nothing for Middlesbrough. Wilkinson slid in to convert the Tommy Wright cross, and he got that telling touch on the end of the ball, and Lukic was really helpless. Middlesbrough 1, Leeds United 0, after only 8 minutes of this game. Again, Middlesbrough breaking the long ball down, and into touch. Chris Fairclough not wanting to play the safe ball back to John Lukic. Lukic couldn't have picked it up, but Middlesbrough attacking. The ball back out wide, another cross The header's in there, Wilkinson, it's 2-0. The same combination for Middlesbrough. Tommy Wright cross from the left-hand side. The defence missed the ball completely, and Wilkinson from close range made no mistake. Again, John Lukic helpless. 8.5 minutes gone at Ayresome Park. An amazing start for Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough 2, Leeds United 0. Ball by White for Chapman. Flick on. Kernigan there. Puts ball to Cantona. Cantona, first time shot. Great save by Ironside. And within 30 seconds of starting this second half, United pushing forward, looking to pull back this 2-0 deficit. Middlesbrough lead 2-0. Early stages of the second half. Phillips, left-footed, looking for the head of Wright. Wright heads it. It's a fine goal by Tommy Wright. He opens his account at Ayresome Park. It was a Phillips cross from the left. Wright rose. He's not the tallest of players, Tommy Wright, and he headed that ball into the top corner. Ball played through, looking for Hendry. Hendry against White. He's cutting inside. He's driving. It's Hendry. Middlesbrough 4, Leeds United 0, and the long through ball was touched on to Hendry. Hendry cut inside of White, and the Leeds fans can't believe what's happening to them. The Middlesbrough fans are in heaven. Hendry makes it. Middlesbrough 4, Leeds 0. And Dorigo to take the throw-in for Leeds United, who amazingly trail by 4-0. Ball played in. Cantona takes on his chest. A great chance for Leeds. Cantona gets the goal back for Leeds.
That, claimed Mr. Lawrence, was the most professional performance he had been associated with in 10 years of management. We hit a new standard today, he thrilled, one that must be equalled at the Dell. Southampton, no saints these days as their reputation for toughness grows through the exploits of Terry Hurlock and company, turned on the class. Yet it was Andy Peake, more poodle than Rottweiler, who stood out in midfield for Borough. After Paul Wilkinson's opener here, joy is short-lived. The Saints striking twice in the last 10 minutes. Ipswich, who had pipped Borough for the title, play a leading role here, but the real drama comes in the final minute.
Cross taken. Linnigan gets a flick on. John Walk gives Ipswich the lead on what was his old club before moving back to Portman Road. Phillips to Kernigan. Long ball by Kernigan, looking to release Wright. Looks as though Wright's got the other side of the defence. Linnigan just helping the ball on a wee touch. But Wright does cross, looking for Slaven. The ball's fallen to Slaven. Won't come down for the Middlesbrough striker. He has a second time. Slaven drives. Great save. Excellent save by Craig Forrest. Parkinson chipped forward, looking for Wilkinson. The ball dropping at the feet of Wilkinson. He's battling for the ball. First time shot. Great save again by Forrest. And this is an excellent display, certainly in the past 5 minutes, by the Ipswich Town keeper. The referee now happy. Phillips puts the ball down. Peake standing behind him. Phillips chips the ball into the penalty area. The feet go in. A goal to Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough have pulled a goal back on 9 minutes. Skipper Alan Kernigan got the final touch. The cross came in from Phillips, a late run by Kernigan. He slid into side-footed past a helpless Craig Forrest. Rolling the ball forward, looking to see what options he has available. Linnigan comes across and takes the kick. Looking for Dazelle. Dazelle gets the flick on. Chance for Ipswich. It's there, 2-1. Ipswich taking the lead. The high ball over the top court. Middlesbrough cold. Crowd getting a bit restless at Ayresome Park as they see Middlesbrough trail 2-1. White coming forward. Gone past a few challenges already. Tommy Wright this time throws the ball across the penalty area. Peake with a challenge to Wilkinson. Wilkinson turns his man and shoots. A great finish by Paul Wilkinson. He grabs his 4th goal for the club, Paul Wilkinson. And really, when he turned his man, he had a straight shot onto goal, and he managed to drive it past a helpless Forrest. Forrest doing all he could. Middlesbrough 2, Ipswich Town 2. Kernigan. First time ball forward, looking for Wilkinson. Wilkinson controls, tries to get to the byline. Wilkinson, he's fouled. That's a penalty to Middlesbrough. The dying few seconds, it was a lunging challenge on Paul Wilkinson, and Middlesbrough given an ideal opportunity to take the 3 points from this game. 60 seconds of this game remain. A penalty to Middlesbrough. Who'll be the victor? Slaven runs up, takes the kick and puts it wide. Bernie Slaven misses an ideal opportunity to give Middlesbrough the 3 points.
The people that step up to take penalty have got guts anyway, and obviously I think everybody expected Bernie to score, but it's just one of those things he missed, and I mean, we'd hold it against him. He'll probably go score a hat-trick on Saturday.
Cleared by Gale. Morris for Middlesbrough. 9 minutes left. Wilkinson avoids the offside flag. Wilkinson against Tracy, crosses it, an easy tap in by Willie Faulkner, and Middlesbrough take the lead at home against Sheffield United. It was the long ball over the top. Wilkinson beat the offside trap for once, slid the ball into the penalty area, and Willie Faulkner with an easy, simple tap in for his first goal of the season. Middlesbrough 1, Sheffield United 0. That's a poor kick by Phillips. Mustoe has to chase across to try and set Middlesbrough up with another attack. A deflected cross falling to White. White with a shot. Brilliant save by Tracy. That was an excellent save. And Derek White close to grabbing his first goal for his new club Middlesbrough since the summer move from Celtic. Ball forward for Wilkinson, and if Wilkinson looks up, he'll see Tommy Wright in space. The ball to Wright with only the keeper to beat, and Tommy Wright has scored the second for Middlesbrough. Paul Wilkinson, the provider, he also provided the first for Willie Faulkner in the first half. He turns to provider again, Wilkinson, and Wright side-footed it, keeping his head cool, past Tracy. Middlesbrough 2, Sheffield United 0.
This was a battle. You know, we weren't able to play the fluent football that we've played in the last 2 or 3 home games. It was a different type of game entirely, and that is the attraction or the strength of the Premier League, that, you know, you've got to show different qualities at different times, maybe only in games only days apart. We wore Ipswich down with a good attacking display. You know, today was a physical encounter, but we're not whinging. A lot of free kicks, a lot of set plays. We showed a good determination and good concentration to make sure that none of them finished up in the back of our net, and we took a couple of the chances that came our way and perhaps kept them to one clear chance in the 90 minutes. That was a really key, crucial game today, because it means we've had a good start. A defeat today would have meant an indifferent start, and a draw would have meant a moderate start, and that was a real significant victory.
Yeah, that's right. It was good to get off the mark, you know. To be honest, I thought Paul Wilkinson was going to stick it away from there, but they done well to square it to me.
6th place in the Premier League now, and a few games under your belt. You must be pleased with that.
Yeah, we're very pleased. We've had a good start. A bit disappointed in our away form, but we lost a couple of silly goals in the away games at set pieces and that, and we showed today that we could cope with it, and it's encouraging.
This win lifts Borough to 6th place in the Premier League, a position they strengthen at Main Road, thanks to more than a little help from the hosts. Poor Gary Flickdroff, the embarrassed victim of Faulkner's effort. City obviously glad to see the back of Borough, whose first victory at Main Road for 43 years was also their 4th over City in 9 months. Luck, though, seems to desert the Northerners at Loftus Road.
5 minutes of the first half remaining, and suddenly it's really come to life. It's there! Middlesbrough in front. A goal from the skipper, Alan Kernigan. Jimmy Phillips' corner, turned in at the near post. And Kernigan's second goal of the season gives Borough the advantage. Here's Andrew Impey. Les Ferdinand. Impey again. Sinton to his left. Channing here just behind him. Impey stolen some space inside the box. 3 waiting beyond the far post. Sinton's cross won't reach them. Chris Morris saw to that. Wilkins Second chance for Sinton. Still 3 in the box. Ferdinand's there, and Ferdinand has scored. An hour gone, and Les Ferdinand's persistence produces an equaliser for Queen's Park Rangers. White. Slaven. Chance now for Tommy Wright. It's 2-1 to Middlesbrough. And within a minute of Queen's Park Rangers equalising, Tommy Wright has put Middlesbrough back in front. And Middlesbrough, who had a measure of control in the opening period of this second half, have been pushed back, suddenly bounced back with Tommy Wright's third goal for them. Life in the big league with Charlton Athletic was mainly about survival for Lenny Lawrence. In 9 years there, he went through 4 chairmen, 2 grounds, 1 promotion, 1 relegation, and 5 escapes. He's hoping for a different kind of career with Middlesbrough. Penrice. Hooked away from Derek White. Good work by Penrice! And he's got his reward! And Queen's Park Rangers have come back to equalise again. And so with 6 minutes remaining, Middlesbrough will have a free kick in a promising position. Promising enough for Alan Kernaghan to venture forward again. It's in towards him, but it was Falconer who came round the back. And for the 3rd time in the game, Middlesbrough take the lead. And will that one be the killer goal? Willie Falconer it was who got it. And he just tiptoed round the back unseen and had a free header from 6 yards, and Stayskill had no answer to it. Sinton with a free kick. Ran away off Maddox for Wilkins. Holloway. The charging in. It's come off the crossbar from Impey. And somehow Middlesbrough have smuggled it away. Sinton's gone tumbling. Penalty. Well, if you like drama, this is the place to be. Queen's Park Rangers denied an equaliser in the last minute by a coat of paint. Immediately get a chance for another reprieve from the spot. It was Andy Sinton who was tumbled, and Andy Sinton it will be to take the crucial penalty after Impey had gone so close. Stoppage time. Sinton versus Horn. 3-3.
Yeah, we had it won 3 times, so it's unfortunate we should concede a goal right at the end of the game, but I'm disappointed obviously, but I'm heartened by the spirit and the quality of the football. And you know, people are knocking the game, saying that the Premier League's not very good. It was a magnificent game of football, that.
You've been involved in 1 or 2 actually this season.
Yeah, but that was the best game we've been involved in, and QPR are the best side we've played. I mean, obviously we're disappointed we didn't win, especially the nature of the equalising goal. But I mean, it's been a terrific game, and nobody can dispute otherwise. You know, we had 3 winning positions, and but we showed a lot of spirit each time QPR equalised, and so I'm disappointed. But I think overall, I'm satisfied with the way we've progressed so far.
Borough, keeping faith with tradition, bounced back bravely as their 100% home record was put to the test in an enthralling encounter with Aston Villa.
On the left, that surely is where it wants to go, and maybe it should have gone a bit earlier. He's pushed Froggatt very wide. Oh, Saunders! 1-0! It was a gift. The defender was favourite. But Dean Saunders gets his 3rd Villa goal in his 3rd match. Teal's header down. This is Froggatt again. Dispossessed. Slaven keeps it going to Tommy Wright, who's got sight of goal here. Wilkinson, it's cleared off the line. Sean Teal was the saviour for Villa. And here comes Tommy Wright again, and that time the cross has gone behind. But Sean Teal has kept Villa in the lead. Tommy Wright had lots of space on the left then, he could have had a shot at goal. Maybe that's what he intended. It turned into a ball into the path of Paul Wilkinson, who looked as though he was going to slide it home, and Sean Teal cleared off the line. Nigel Spink has seen a little bit more of the ball in the first 10 minutes of the second half than he did in the first, as Middlesbrough begin to lift the pace, and the crowd at Ayresome Park offer their support from the terraces for the team who haven't been beaten at home yet this season. Slaven over the top for Wilkinson. Oh, great save. Villa's first real heart-stopping moment, and Middlesbrough's top scorer Paul Wilkinson acrobatically on the end of that cross. Spink, who plucked it out of the air, and that really is the first serious save that the Villa keeper has had to make. And crosses hit into empty space. Staunton. Oh, what was he trying to do, Steve Staunton? He's given it back to Mustoe. Still Mustoe. Teed it up for Wilkinson. Great save, Spink. But Slaven puts it in. It's 1-1. A battling goal from Middlesbrough, with 15 minutes gone in the second half, has made it one apiece. But Villa will look to their left back, Steve Staunton, who had opportunities to clear that. Staunton with this free kick. Just under 20 minutes left. And Villa now with Dwight York on in place. Here's Dalian Atkinson. Surely this is two. Great football, Dalian Atkinson. Great footwork. Kernaghan's header only as far as Dwight York. Dalian Atkinson. Gary Parker. Dwight York, no offside. Saunders has arrived at the middle of the field. 3-1. Terrific goal, Villa. And all around the field, Villa players have their hands in the air in acknowledgement of a superb goal. This is Phillips. Wilkinson might get on the end of it. He did. This is Peake. Own goal, Paul McGrath. How unfortunate. Well, hang on. The linesman's put his flag up on this near side. It isn't official yet. Nigel Spink had made a good save. It was unfortunate that it cannoned straight into Paul McGrath and back into Villa's net, and indeed the goal is given and does stand. So it's Middlesbrough 2, Villa 3, and a little over 3 minutes left to play.
John Giddins was dramatically drafted into the side to play Manchester United after Alan Kernaghan twisted a neck muscle in the warm-up. But it was the irrepressible Ryan Giggs who put the substitute defender on the spot in another thriller.
McClare. Giggs making a run wide just off camera. Ince. Blackmore. Giggs. United building and building strongly. Irwin. Challenge. The referee points to the spot. And that's a penalty to Manchester United for the challenge on Irwin. It looks as though it's going to be Bruce to take it. Steve Bruce, one of the three who missed in midweek in the penalty shootout against Torpedo Moscow. Can Bruce keep his nerve? Can Ironside win out? 2 minutes from the interval, goalless at the moment. Bruce against Ironside, and Bruce puts the ball past Ironside, sending Ironside the wrong way, making up for his miss in midweek. And United ahead here at Ayresome Park. 43 minutes on the watch. Morris looking for Wilkinson. Wilkinson flicking the ball on right to Slaven. A chance for Slaven! Middlesbrough level at Ayresome Park! Bernie Slaven striking the ball past Schmeichel. 14 minutes gone of this second half. It's Middlesbrough 1, Manchester United 1.
They deserve points and further prove that Borough can compete with the cream. As the league table shows, they are still level pegging with some of the most glamorous contenders in the Premier Division. But can they take the fizz out of sparkling rivals Newcastle United in the Coca-Cola Cup? The first leg of this Tyne-Tees derby ended scoreless at St James's Park, and there is more than pride at stake in this second round decider.
Backpedaling, Kelly now, it's falling well for Kelly, superbly finished by David Kelly, and it's Newcastle who take the lead. First blood to Newcastle. Forward for Tommy Wright. Now can Middlesbrough find something in stoppage time? And Wilkinson! That was a chance by Paul Wilkinson standards. And the Holgate Enders really getting behind their team now. Into the middle for Wilkinson! 1-1, Wilkinson! He was too quick for the Newcastle defence then. And now the Holgate End erupts. They were caught cold, Newcastle, by that one. Jamie Pollock there, knocking the ball in quickly. Wright checked, Wilkinson kept going, and that is 1-1. Jamie Pollock, a perfect cross, and Wilkinson ends that goal drought. Howie did well to find Beresford. It was a long way forward considering they were under pressure. Good running by Lee Clark. Kelly wants it ahead of him. Kelly was unmarked. They're picked up now. And it was an awkward bounce. And Peacock and wide for Quinn. And there for O'Brien. What a goal from Liam O'Brien. That's a superb strike. Newcastle take the lead again. O'Brien. Cut out by O'Brien, the hero, but now Gittins can, well, look for Wilkinson, but it didn't reach him. Now he made sure. Good ball through to Robert Lee. And Lee Clark, no offside. Kelly in the middle. Kelly! It's all over now for Middlesbrough, surely. David Kelly. So simple for him. But that is a knife right through the heart of Middlesbrough.
So Kevin Keegan's all-conquering Magpies march on. It is a glum night on Teesside. At White Hart Lane, though, it takes just 2 minutes for Robbie Mustoe to put the smile back on Lenny's face.
Searching ball there from Morris. Oh, beautifully executed. Robbie Mustoe, the scorer. We're inside 2 minutes at the start of this Premier League game. Came from this long ball through. Tuttle and Ruddock can't make contact. And Robbie Mustoe just gets in on that bounce, beating Vanden Howe to the ball. A perfect finish. Some good football being played here by Middlesbrough. This is right. Nice ball inside of Wilkinson. He's on his own. Wilkinson deflected there. An own goal off Ruddock. 32 minutes into the game. Given oceans of space. Ruddock trying to atone for the mistake. Turns it past Walker. These long balls through the middle, causing a bit of havoc here. Booted away in the end by Phillips, but a penalty's being given. Sheringham will take it. Essentially the man held back here. He challenged that. So, Pears up against Teddy Sheringham, a big money buy from Nottingham Forest. 20 minutes left, and Spurs are back in the game. Jury. Oh, nicely worked by Gordon Jury, gets it across, Barmby's there, 2-2. 2 goals in 3 minutes for Tottenham then. It's Tottenham 2, Middlesbrough 2.
There are no rewards, alas, at the City Ground, where Brian Clough's struggling side win through this 66th minute deflection of Kingsley Black's shot. Borough are now without a win in 7 games as they face up to a Chris Waddle-inspired Sheffield Wednesday without Glaswegian central defender Derek White. But look for a sparkling debut from teenager Graham Kavanagh.
Morris with that throw for Middlesbrough, just under half an hour played, as Fleming shows a good touch again. Morris, Wilkinson underneath, 2 defenders, came off the defender. This is Wright, it's still in play. Or he pulled it back to the spot in the penalty area where there wasn't a red shirt. Hyde. Bart Williams. He had to hold up then because Warhurst was offside. Kernigan didn't get a full touch. Here's Mark Bright and the keeper slipped. Wednesday have taken the lead, half an hour gone, but it was a catalogue of mistakes by Middlesbrough. Kavanagh. Good ball to pick out Tommy Wright. Terrific ball from inside his own half. And he's twisted and turned around Harkes. Wilkinson! What a fine goal. Paul Wilkinson, with his 8th of the season, has got it level. Middlesbrough responding within 5 minutes to going behind to Sheffield Wednesday. But if you trace that back, what a terrific ball it was by 19-year-old Graham Kavanagh, the young Irish lad. And the corner didn't beat the man at the near post. Proctor. Fleming. Tommy Wright. Great shot, Tommy Wright. Oh, terrific. It took a wicked bounce right in front of Chris Woods. Slaven. Slaven again. Pearson concedes a corner, and Middlesbrough have certainly recovered from the shock of that goal they conceded to Sheffield Wednesday. They've come back to make it level, but for that first-class save from Chris Woods there, from the shot from Tommy Wright, they might have been level as we go in at half-time. Oh, another fantastic save, that time from Kavanagh. Fleming. And he got it back, and he's got it out to Wilkinson, who's got to run into the area. The long cross, this is Tommy Wright. People have arrived. Proctor's header. And you feel that it's going to be something really special to beat Chris Woods.
You know, if we was in the first division now, we could put a team out like that, say, that with a lot of changes and a lot of injuries, and you could nick a win. You know, we did it loads of times last year. You can't do it in this league. There's too many good players and too many good teams, and you know, you just can't wave a magic wand and hope things are right. All you can do is put a team out and hope that the players and the team do as well as they can do, and that's what's happened. Now, sooner or later, it'll turn. You know, the important thing is we lost on Wednesday. We haven't lost 2 on the trot at all. We've lost 4 out of the first 12. Now, if we lose 4 out of the next 12. And 4 out of 12 after, we'll be all right.
No real alarm then. Borough still 9th, and at Carrow Road it is another of those so near yet so far storylines.
Good run being made by Bowen on this flank, and there's a superb ball, beautifully delivered in for Robinson. That's an own goal. Oh, headed over. Stephen Pears. Well, what can you say? Magic stuff from Pears. It looked like it was going in the net there. And Pears electing to head it because of this back pass rule. Butterworth climbing over Paul Wilkinson, gives away the free kick, quickly taken by Faulkner, looking for Henry. Henry brings it down beautifully. Oh, superb play by Henry, and there's hit the post! It looked like it was going in. A let-off there for Norwich City. 19 minutes gone. And John Henry so unlucky. He brought that ball down beautifully. This is White.
Henry, seeing a lot of the ball, Henry. Jimmy Phillips making the run, good clip ball from him, and Wilkinson's there, it's a goal! Wilkinson found the space at the far post. The cross from Jimmy Phillips, and Middlesbrough take the lead here at Carrow Road. 20 minutes into the second half. And it's stemmed from Henry here. Henry releasing Jimmy Phillips down that left flank. A good clip cross from him on the run. And Paul Wilkinson lost his marker for once and found the open space by the far post. A simple header in the end for him. Long ball in for Darren Becker, got a good header in, a chance here and there! And that's 1-1, the scorer, Darryl Such.
The Canaries' equaliser 3 minutes from the end seemed rough justice. There is no argument about the result at Anfield, however, the 4-1 scoreline decisive enough. Quick thinking and delicate balance from Rosenthal opens the scoring in the 9th minute. Ian Rush, then Peaknick, almost adding to Borough's woes here. But it's that man Rosenthal who produces the finish, with this explosive shot to put Liverpool 2 up. Jimmy Phillips gives Borough some hope after Hendry is fouled. Then Borough suffer a third setback on the stroke of half-time when McManaman powers through. Rush added a fourth, his 200th league goal. Borough have slipped to 12th place. Chris Morris comes in for his first start of the season against Wimbledon. The irrepressible Jamie Pollock is back in midfield after a 6-game absence. Both make telling contributions against Wimbledon. The day after Windsor Castle Burns, 2 goals in 8 minutes sparks the flames of victory for Borough.
Joseph and Hendry chasing for the ball. Joseph down the line. The ball play for Hendry. Late flag by the linesman. Hendry goes for the curling chip. It's in the back of the net, but what the crowd don't realise is the flag is up for offside as Hendry goes to celebrate the opening goal, or what he thought was the opening goal. It was a very late flag, and that's John Pickering. He's the Middlesbrough number 2 here at Ayresome Park, remonstrating with the linesman because Joe Worrell didn't see the flag, it was that late. He made a quick look, the flag wasn't there. He allowed Hendry to go through and score, and when he was running towards the centre circle for the kick to be taken after Hendry had scored, he then noticed the flag, and 2 Middlesbrough players, Hendry and Wilkinson, not happy with the decision. And after 3 minutes of this second half, Wimbledon have themselves an indirect free kick. Middlesbrough have a goal ruled out for offside, and the linesman calling Joe Worrell across, not happy, I would believe, with what John Pickering had said to him. Well, it's got something to do with the goal. Middlesbrough have taken the lead here in controversial circumstances because the flag was up because of a player they're claiming is off the pitch. The linesman on the far side surrounded. Joe Worrell fending off the rest of the Wimbledon team. And Seggers throwing the ball to the floor, disgusted, just out of shot.
And Joe Worrell just in there talking to players, telling them why the decision has been made. And have Middlesbrough taken the lead in controversial circumstances through John Hendry on 3 minutes in the second half? It looks as though they have.
Challenge on Mustoe, but Middlesbrough still in possession. John Hendry to Robbie Mustoe. The ball for Wilkinson to chase, but good covering by Joseph. But Joseph's lost the ball. Mustoe with a chance. The ball falls. It's past Seggers. Middlesbrough 2-0 into the lead. And it's Morris's first goal for the club here. It looked as though Wimbledon had done enough. It was good defending, but then the ball was held on to for too long. Wilkinson in with a challenge. Mustoe shot.
And Morris picked up the loose pieces.
It's Middlesbrough's first win in 11 games and stems the slide. A week later, against an Oldham Athletic side 6 points and 8 places below them, Borough are in for a nasty surprise. Willie Faulkner's third goal of the season scant consolation as the Latics ram in 4. Not an ideal debut for Craig Hignett following his £500,000 transfer from Crewe. Borough have dropped to 14th, their lowest position so far in the Premier League. They need some inspiration against championship-chasing Rovers. It comes from the effervescent John Hendry.
So Wilcox. Oh, he's turned nicely inside. Peak. Wilcox with a shot. Beautifully curled. And that's given Rovers the lead just before half-time. Phillips. Trying to get back on level terms. Beautiful shot there. Oh, turned in there by John Hendry from the acutest angle. Whipped it in with the left foot. And Hendry takes the applause. Blackburn exposed here. Good run this by Jamie Pollock. Beautifully controlled. Pollock controls it, sends it in, and first time from Hendry. 1-1. First time shot from Hendry. 2-1 to Borough. What a finish from John Hendry. The crowd go wild. 55 minutes into the game and 2 goals in 3 minutes for Hendry. Blackburn not dealing with this high cross. They're all at sea there. The ball drops and Hendry just whips it in with that left foot. Jimmy Phillips then with the corner kick for Borough. Away. Oh, missed kick there by Pollock. Pollock going through again, miscues it again. Hendry's there. 3-1, and that's his hat-trick. Oh, he'll be celebrating tonight. John Hendry, his third of the match. It's Borough 3, Blackburn Rovers 1. Couldn't tell from the look on Eddie Lawrence's face, though. Jamie Pollock here chasing it, tries the shot. He lost his footing as he fired in the ball, and then Hendry pounces to give Mims no chance at all. Shot here from behind the goal, and what power on that finish. Cowans. This ball through from Cowans. This is Shearer. Ball in there. Phillips. Oh, it came off his knee. It's an own goal. Middlesbrough 3, Blackburn Rovers 2.
What a day for John Hendry, only the second hat-trick of his career, and this one 10 years to the day that he made his debut for Coventry City. A super show from goalkeeper Kevin Hitchcock proves Chelsea's saviour in this Friday night spectacular at Ayresome Park. Middlesbrough haven't won a league game at Highbury since 1938-39. Christmas comes but once a year, and gifts like this even less frequently. This Wilco goal and outstanding defensive performances from Derek White and Nicky Mohan threaten to secure the long-awaited win. Then up pops Ice Cooley and Wright to grab the equaliser just 9 minutes from time. The Boxing Day fixture at Goodison Park is a real thriller. Craig Hignett the party pooper as Borough show again they can live with the best.
It was a great ball from Andy Peake. Collected here by Wright. Good early cross from him. Oh! Wilkinson usually buries those. Free kick then to Everton. The ball in. Oh, up the head of Rideout. He got the final touch. 1-0, 2 minutes into the second half. Bit of a shirt pulling there, but here comes Henry. Good ball through, and this is Hignett. And Hignett scores his first for Middlesbrough. Well earned that. It's taken Borough 2 minutes to reply. Beautifully weighted ball through by Hendry. And Craig Hignett seized on it, took it wide, and then slotted it past Southall. 1-1. Beautifully well-balanced player, nicely in there, and a nudge. And the penalty's being given. 66 minutes into this game, and Peter Beardsley will take the kick. Grease through ball there, and just a little nudge, knocking Beardsley off balance. So Stephen Pears to face up to the former England star, Peter Beardsley. 1-1 the scoreline. Right way and couldn't reach it. It's 2-1 to Everton. And Watson getting the touch there. Wilkinson through. That's a great ball. Hignett's there again. Oh, an almost identical shot from him. It's 2-2. Great ball through by Wilkinson, and Hignett steering it in from a wide angle to the far post.
A great point at Goodison. Alas, Lenny's men are not able to maintain that form as Crystal Palace steal the points in a sad end to 1992. Osborne scoring with the Londoners' only shot of the game. It's an overall performance that far from pleases Borough's discerning boss.
We gave away a ludicrous goal from a free kick, which made it even worse against a team like that. They showed the ruthless professionalism and why they've won 6 games on a trot, playing that style. We huffed and puffed, and to be quite frank, we'd have been there till 12 o'clock tonight before we'd have scored.
This is the situation at the end of 1992. Borough still rubbing shoulders with the big names, and of these clubs only Liverpool have scored more goals. Yet the new year begins as the old had ended. Les Ferdinand's first away goal of the season, making it 5 games without a win for Middlesbrough. More headaches for Lenny Lawrence, who is to get the best out of his side in the FA Cup thriller with fancied Chelsea.
Cheers.
Phillips, one charge down by Stewart. The breaks on here for Chelsea. Good shot, but into the side netting. Kavanagh. Not a bad cross from Kavanagh. In go the heads, and just wide of the target by Faulkner. Right then with the corner kick. All the heads again. Shot coming in from Pollock, just past the post. Still no score then. Place in the 4th round of the FA Cup at stake. Oh, Pollock didn't do too well with that, and a chance here for Lasso. Good cross in. Oh, it's an own goal. It came off Nicky Mohan. He's so unfortunate there. Jamie Pollock. There's room to get the cross in. He's delivered a good ball too, and Hitchcock's dropped it. A chance for Wright. And Wright squares the game in the 70th minute. Wright capitalising on that error by Hitchcock. Good cross this from Pollock. Beautifully weighted. Hitchcock gets his hands to it but can't hold it. And Wright takes full advantage. 1-1. Pollock then with a free kick. Over the top, outstretched leg, and it's there! Willie Faulkner, just 8 minutes left for play. That could have put Borough into the 4th round of the FA Cup. It came from another Jamie Pollock cross, this time from the dead ball situation. And there's Faulkner hooking it in first time. It's 2-1 Borough.
Then he said after the game at the weekend that it's confidence that's lacking from the team. How much can a win in the FA Cup build confidence?
Well, hopefully that can give us a lot of confidence, because it's true the manager's what he says, we're lacking a bit of confidence. And as I say, a win tonight maybe get us on a good run.
And a quick look forward, I know there are a few league games in the way, but Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, very attractive tie. I mean, we played there in the early season and we lost 1-0. Close game, and hopefully we can do a bit better in the Cup.
I think it would have been a gross injustice if we'd lost to that goal. In the first half, you know, it was nip and tuck. They had as much of the game as we did. We had to make a change, obviously, and put Jamie to right back when Curtis went off injured. We're an unaccustomed position for him. In the second half, I thought we pushed them back, and until the last 10 minutes, we were much the better team. Obviously, coming from a goal behind to win is a better way of doing it, but obviously we were disappointed when we fell a goal behind. But it would have been really rough justice if we'd lost to that, and I think we deserved it over the 90 minutes.
Terrible goal to concede, as you say, and important you hit back straight away.
I mean, Jamie was, you know, in unfamiliar territory there, and he tried that overhead kick and it didn't work, and then it's coming like it's like an own goal at the end of the day. Typical of our luck at home in recent weeks, but we've bounced back. The players have shown a lot of guts and spirit as well as ability tonight, and it was no more than they deserve, really. It's just pleasing that, as I say, we've come from behind and sent everybody home happy.
A splendid fight back that shatters the Blues. But oh, how Lenny Lawrence must have wished he could exchange this win for 3 points. The boss warned before the game at Villa Park that his side were only 2 defeats away from a genuine relegation tussle. Aston Villa were looking to hit top spot in the Premier League Championship race, and they did it with a show of strength the men from Ayresome Park were unable to match. Craig Higness, lone reply, too little, too late. Borough had been hit for 5. Back in the FA Cup, Stephen Pearce conjures up one of the goalkeeping performances of the season to frustrate Clough's Cup dream. But Crossley at the other end is not so happy, Willie Faulkner taking full advantage. Pearce is given little chance though, with Neil Webb's diving header. Still in the Cup, on the prospect of a 5th round tie at Arsenal or Leeds. But it is points that really matter as Southampton come to Ayresome Park.
And it couldn't have come under much stranger circumstances, but a free kick on the far side to Middlesbrough. Both sides down to 10 men, 23 minutes gone, the header comes in, and it's there, Middlesbrough have taken the lead! The ball was whipped in from the far side, and it was Nicky Mann who stooped behind the defence, a flicked header, in off the post. Middlesbrough take the lead, and the Holgate end celebrate in their usual fashion. 23.5 minutes on the watch. Middlesbrough 1, Southampton 0. Dowie flicks the ball on, chance for Le Tissier, just flicks it wide. Le Tissier with a shooting opportunity, and there's the equaliser for Southampton. Matthew Le Tissier, 12 minutes of the second half. Looking for Hendry. Chase on to try and keep the ball in as John Hendry as well. Fleming on the overlap. Goes down very quickly, but still manages to get a good cross in.
Wilkinson to the back post, the ball headed across, it comes to Phillips. Phillips just drives it wide. Dowie. Tommy Wright, correct. Out wide for Fleming. Banger flanking him, the ball in the middle, Wilkinson with a chance, and the ball in the back of the net. Tim Flowers is injured. The referee seems to have awarded the goal. Wilkinson's down, Flowers is down, and we're not sure whether the goal has been in fact awarded for Paul Wilkinson, but both trainers called onto the field. 25 minutes of this second half gone. The ball now being retrieved out of the back of the net. Wilkinson down, Flowers down, the goal has been awarded.
The hoped-for revival takes another knock at Elland Road. Borough held the champions for 68 minutes and thought they had taken the lead here. Then Frank Strandley lit the Leeds fuse with a debut goal. And Batty and Fairclough completed the job to leave Borough just 6 points clear of rock-bottom Oldham Athletic. (3-0) to Leeds United. There's more humiliation to come as Brian Clough scores another triumph on his old stamping ground in the FA Cup.
Williams ran into a bit of a cul-de-sac there, Brett Williams. Not Forest way really to run with the ball. Chettle. Caught in two minds, but he got away with it. Strong enough to see off Hendry. Now Wone with Keane in space to his right, and Clough and Bannister in support. Wone joining them. This is Roy Keane. Fleming's clearance might fall for Clough, might fall for Bannister. 1-0. Just walked it in. Wilkinson. On by Hendry. Wilkinson to right. Falconer's calling for it beyond the far post. Here he is! Good save by Crossley. He was moving across his goal at a fair rate of knots there, the Forest keeper. And he just managed to intercept. A dangerous effort from Willie Falconer. Good keeping. Strong work by Jimmy Phillips. Captain's contribution. There goes John Hendry. Can't afford to show him the inside, he'll have a go! This is a fellow who popped in a hat-trick in 15 minutes against Blackburn Rovers at Lurleen this season. And really it is a risk to invite him to shoot because he packs a real shot. Webb. Headed by Moen. Only for Clough. Ian Wone. A bit isolated on that left-hand side. Roy Keane, though, into Scott Gemmell. Pull back to Nigel Clough, brilliant save, but he won't keep out the second effort. Forest have scored twice inside of 10 minutes. And Middlesbrough have got an awful lot to do to stay in the cup. Fleming. Wilkinson. Trying to squeeze it through for Wright, wouldn't come for him. Gemmell lost out. Wright's got it back. Gemmell recovered. Only though for Jimmy Phillips. Cried out to be hits. It was deflected. Or it seemed to be anyway. Goal kick is the verdict. Bannister. Webb. Wode has made a great break and he's onside. He was held by Fleming, but he shrugged him off. He's got Clough in support. Didn't really need him, did he? Some finish by Ian Wone. And I dare say that has finished Middlesbrough off once and for all.
The breaks seem to be going against the Teessiders. John Hendry drops out of the game against Coventry City after 11 minutes with a torn muscle. Tommy Wright his replacement. And it is Wright who is denied a penalty as he goes down under this challenge from Peter Atherton. A minute later, Williams looks well offside as Love opens the scoring. 10 minutes on, Mick Quinn wraps it up for the Sky Blues. His first ever goal against the Borough. Middlesbrough are now in serious trouble, and a 2-0 defeat at struggling Sheffield United only enhances the problem, extending their run to 4 games without a goal or a point. But it's the ease with which Carr and Dean score their goals that gives rise to so much concern in the Borough camp. There's more than a whiff of tension in the air as everyone steels themselves for the next vital relegation battle coming up with Forest. Tenacity is needed in these situations, but can Borough lay that Clough hoodoo?
Right-footed. The wind's going to curl away from the goal, but the wind's going to try and cancel that out. First time shot, great side by Crosley, the header just wide. Tommy Wright who unleashed the shot. John Giddins who had the second attempt, the header from close range. It was a great reflex save by Crosley in goal for Forest. Forest forward, the ball crossed to Clough, controlled it Clough, Bannister turns all in one movement, good save by Pears, but the ball put in by Nigel Clough from a couple of yards out, and Forest have struck 14 minutes into the second half, just as Middlesbrough seem to get hold of this game by the scruff of the neck. So Middlesbrough must come forward from that. Charles heads clear. Phillips chips it towards the back post. Oh, and it's in! It's a remarkable goal by Jimmy Phillips. Really blessed with all the luck that Ayresome Park could provide, but the ball lofted in. It looked as though it was a cross. Mark Crossley lost his bearings, and the ball in over the top of Crossley, off his back, and into the back of the net, 1-1. Danger coming in from the wing. First time, header, and it's there.
It's game, set and match, Clough again. The Forest boss, who started his playing career at Ayresome Park, has not lost against Borough in 26 years. To add insult to injury, it was a Geordie, Stephen Stone, who glanced the winner that helped him maintain this remarkable record. As the Premier League enters its last quarter, the names of Leeds, Liverpool and Everton also find themselves embarrassingly threatened by relegation. Borough's predicament is more critical, it's true, as they travel to Old Trafford following 5 straight defeats, and the champions-elect prove true to form.
Well done, Kamara. He spotted the danger, and if he hadn't got back and got in a good tackle, Middlesbrough might well have been stretched. Manchester United did beat Middlesbrough at Old Trafford last season, although they were in different divisions. Middlesbrough coming here in the semi-final of the Rumbelows. In again! And the quick throw gets Giggs away. He ran from his own half. He couldn't have been offside. Giggs, pursued by Moen. Pears stood up to it and saved it well. Taken by Tommy Wright, knocked on by Kamara. Bruce has cleared, not out of the area yet, is it? Pete comes in, and now up to Cantona, and again they outnumber them. Surely this time it's 5-on-3. Cantona, Giggs, back to McClare. Well saved by the keeper, Lee Sharp. They haven't done it, despite the overwhelming numbers in attack. Ince has a look, Giggs is there, Irwin, there's a little conversation. Irwin, oh, he's done it this time! Mark Hughes, oh, he's so strong, he just held him off. Cantona, twisted and turned, still Cantona, and again! The first shot was saved, the second wasn't.
That's 6 straight defeats. It doesn't look good. Victory at Portman Road is now imperative if morale is to be maintained.
Wilson, Whitton, good ball in to Gump Williams, but he lost out to that challenge from Mustoe. And this is Hendry. Good ball in, good shot on the turn, and a great save by Baker. But what a good effort that was by Paul Wilkinson. And Derek White's got right round behind the back of the defence. I think John Walk's picked him up now. An eye on him, two-man wall. Ball driven high for Wilkinson, and there's the goal! Well, you can't leave Wilkinson unmarked at that far post. It's a set-piece routine that Middlesbrough have tried and tried again with so much success. And Paul Wilkinson notches his 12th goal of the season. 35 minutes gone.
I think we all felt that probably this was our best chance of trying to turn things around. You know, we've had a lot of injuries. Obviously, Kearney came back and had a good game and gave us that stability at the back. And you know, everybody thought that maybe this was the one that could turn it around for us, and it proved that. I mean, we still had to do it, and I thought it was a great all-round team performance.
Paul Wilkinson, the hero of a well-earned win. But Lenny Lawrence's return to Selhurst Park, where as Charlton manager he almost mastered the art of survival, only serves to aggravate the team's current plight. The Dons open the scoring in the 33rd minute with this disputed goal from Neil Ardley's corner. Stephen Pears blocks Robbie Earle's header and is frustrated as John Scales forces the ball in from his grasp. Dean Holsworth made it 2-0 after 74 minutes when Elkin's long pass beats the offside trap. Former Old Boy Graham Souness is back, making his first appearance here as manager. But this time he's not here to help the Borough cause, which is suffering from a loss of confidence, not helped when rivals Oldham prick Manchester United's bubble with a shock 1-0 win.
Nice little flick on, Rosenthal's arrived, the keeper thought about coming. Corner's been given. Rosenthal getting on the end of that little flick from Ian Rush, corner already taken. Now McManaman. This is John Barnes. Whips in the left foot, pushed away. It's in the back of the net, Hutchison. There were 3 Liverpool players on that back post. The Ironside has never really let Middlesbrough down when he's had to deputise for the injured players. In fact, they've had some good results in the 9 or 10 games in which he's played. Quickly taken. Hendry trying to bustle through. It's an own goal by Nicol. Oh, Steve Nicol. Terrible mistake. James has started to come. Misunderstanding between him and the defender. And maybe Nicol was just trying to lift it back to James. Only he would know what was in his mind. It was the quick free kick. And it was Hendry who caused the uncertainty. Yes, he's trying to give it back to the keeper, but James had come off his line. Poor David James. Oh, McManaman's away, he turned Derek White, he must score, great save! Oh! No wonder the Borough players have thrown their arms around Ironside. Surely I wasn't alone in shouting goal. McManaman running in, point blank on the keeper. Ironside stood up as long as he needed to. Who'd be a manager at a time like this? Header on was by Barnes, Hutchison, Rush! Doesn't miss those, does he? 2-1 Liverpool.
John Hendry must wish he was playing Blackburn every week. He returns to Ewood Park to haunt boyhood hero Kenny Dalglish yet again, though it is Ian Atkins who gives Rovers the lead in the 24th minute. It takes just 8 minutes for John Hendry's reply. His first time shot on the turn, too good for Bobby Mims. The significance of the coming clash with Oldham Athletic left no one in doubt. Shown live on Sky, it was literally win or bust, with Borough slight favourites to make home advantage count.
Momentum of the attack just lost, but here's Poynton. More controlled look about Oldham's football so far, but as Andy's been telling you, it's been possession without punch.
As we've talked about right at the beginning, it's not about how well you play when you're down there. It's at the end of the day, who's picked up the 3 points.
Adams again. Poynton Here's Olney. Holds it up quite well this time. The cross, and in space there was Bernard. And Oldham Athletic have stolen the lead. And Oldham have come here tonight and they've passed the ball around and they've come up with a very significant goal. And now here's Neil Adams with the corner for them. Again he goes for the long one, aimed towards Jobson, who gets there! And it's gone in! It's gone in! Only might have got a touch to it on the way through, but it was Jobson's header originally, and this is crisis now for Middlesbrough. Falconer is impeded on the way through, and Middlesbrough have yet another free kick. They've got to make one of these promising positions count. Here's Moen. He's put it in. Was it offside? It wasn't. Middlesbrough now have got a lifeline. Oldham were looking for the offside. Nicky Moen sprung the trap, and Middlesbrough are back in business.
Watch the number 11. He's the key. The Oldham number 11. They all go out. He stays in. You can see there, Moen's not offside. And at last, they finally get past Paul Gerrard. It's a dangerous policy that, if everyone's not clued into it. And Paul Bernard goes to sleep, and Oldham now have got, what, 7 or 8 worrying minutes probably ahead.
2-1 to Oldham. It's every bit as tight and tense as we thought it would be. Ritchie is onside here. He's got Henry in support, and Ritchie has finished it this time! 3-1 Oldham! Andy Ritchie's first goal for a year has surely delivered 3 points to the Latics of Oldham Athletic and Joe Royal. If it stays like this, Nottingham Forest will be bottom of the table in a few minutes' time, unless Middlesbrough have something else in store. Little flick to the goal! Hignett's done it. He's put Middlesbrough back in it again. Well, what a finish this is. Gerrard can't believe it, but Craig Hignett has scored.
Well, it's a good ball in, and for once, Fleming's not in the right position. You see, he's in front of Hignett, and it's a lovely little header, it has to be said. And watch the way he just guides the ball. Look at that. Guides it right into the corner to give the goalkeeper no chance.
Oldham had answered the challenge. Borough had once again lapsed in defence. Even Lenny Lawrence admitted they were barely alive. With Andy Peake suspended and Jamie Pollock a flu victim, the chances at Stamford Bridge look fairly bleak. It took 52 minutes for Mal Donaghy to open the scoring, making the most of an absent defence. And Borough was soon lamenting the Blues, as Spencer increased their advantage in the 61st minute. Stewart's third is somewhat fortuitous. Chelsea now 3-0 up in the 72nd minute. And lack of defending at the far post is exposed yet again, as Bernard sews it up for Chelsea. Chelsea's most convincing victory of the season. Borough now trail the rest by 2 points. Hardly the form to suggest an upset against an Arsenal side who have just won an FA Cup semi-final against Tottenham.
Kavanagh with a header to Wilkinson. Hignett plays it forward to John Henry. Henry's on the one side and then he's put it in! Middlesbrough have gone 1-0 in front. John Henry, the goal scorer. Craig Hignett put him through. He had Linnigan beaten and it was almost a one-on-one with Seaman. He struck it first time. Seaman went down to his right, but the ball beat him.
If it had been a draw, it wouldn't have been anything special, but obviously with getting the 3 points, it was a wee bit good for us.
Particularly against Arsenal?
No, I mean, that don't make any difference, particularly against Arsenal. I mean, at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points.
And your thoughts on Borough's survival at the end of the day?
Well, it's still going to be hard for us, there's no denying that, but having said that, I mean, it's given us that little bit of glimmer. I mean, people wrote us off before tonight, but if we can build on that, then you never know.
John Henry still optimistic then, but if ever Borough needed to back one success with another, it was now against an Everton side not without worries of their own.
Moen. Again, Everton pick up possession. Hinchcliffe. It's not very good play by Hinchcliffe. Ball played forward, looking to release Hendry, who controls well. He's got to try and get at the defence and play the ball through, and a chance for Wilkinson, just over the bar. Best move of the game by Middlesbrough. Excellent work by Hendry, and a first-time shot really by Wilkinson as he was stretching. Just lifted it over the top of the Everton crossbar. 25 minutes gone in this game, still goalless. This is Everton's first corner of the game. And it's Andy Hinchcliffe on the far side to take. Hinchcliffe drives it in. Oh, totally unmarked. 1-0 Everton. Dave Watson grabbing the goal. It came from nothing. Hendry. Chance for Phillips to get a good cross in. He does get a good cross in. Wilkinson's header just wide. And Middlesbrough starting out as though they mean business. Not a minute yet on the watch. And a good cross by Phillips. Equally good header by Wilkinson. But it was the direction that lacked. But Fleming's going to look to take on. He's got two defenders to beat. And he does well indeed to get the cross in. Falls to Hendry. Hendry can't control but drives it. Great save by Southall. And that's the first time really Southall's had to pull off a save in this game. Phillips, good long header by Phillips. Hignett releasing Hendry. There's only Wilkinson in the box, now Hignett's joining. To the back post, there's Wilkinson! Middlesbrough have equalised. A great cross from the left-hand side by John Hendry. The ball eluded Neville Southall, and Wilkinson in at the back post. Middlesbrough level. They still are down to 10 men, but the goal has been pulled back. Middlesbrough 1, Everton 1. The point, I think, would certainly see Everton safe in the Premier League. As the ball's crossed in and they go in search of three, they've got a chance of three. The first is well saved by Pears. Preki makes it 2-1, and he scores a vital goal with 10 minutes to go, which may just have sent Middlesbrough down into the First Division.
We played as well as we've played for a long, long time between the two penalty areas, but once again we gave away a diabolical first goal, you know, and that's why we were chasing the game, and everything stemmed from that really. The sending off down to 10 men, and then having clawed our way back in the game, we proceed to do exactly the same thing. You know, that's why we're where we are. Very, very disappointing considering the performance we put in. If you play badly like we did at Chelsea last week, you know, you expect to get beat, but we played quite well today, but we just cannot do it in our own penalty area, and to a lesser extent in the other team's penalty area, you know. But we must go to Palace and hope we can salvage something there.
Bad defending, bad luck. Time is running out, but a win at Crystal Palace will keep hope alive. Paul Wilkinson's 14th goal of the season, no consolation for the team's lapses. Fate perhaps takes a cruel deflection with Rodgers' first goal. The defensive lapses are once again blatantly exposed by Eric Young. Then by Armstrong. And finally by Coleman.
I've never spent so much time on working on defensive things in my entire career, ever. I spent about a tenth of time at Charlton with about 10 times as much success. It's concentration, and that's what we lack in certain areas. We just go to sleep.
Mathematically, Middlesbrough can still save the drop, but it'll take a miracle.
Driven along again, looking for Wilkinson, who doesn't win it this time, but Middlesbrough can break, and another chance for Wright, and that's 2-0 to Middlesbrough.
Tommy Wright, who's just been brought back into this side for this game here at Urson Park, grabs the first on 2 minutes and makes the second count for Middlesbrough on 26 minutes of the first half. Middlesbrough 2, Spurs 0. Hendry on the far side looking to try and provide something for Middlesbrough's third. The header from Wilkinson, and that is the third. Hendry breaking on the right-hand side. The ball crossed to the far post, and Paul Wilkinson, a very powerful header, which Ian Walker couldn't keep from crossing the line, and all he managed to do was to palm it into the side netting. That's Middlesbrough 3, Spurs 0.
An encouraging boost, but now their future's on the line. Nothing short of victory over double cup finalist Sheffield Wednesday will keep their Premier League hopes alive.
Good run here by Morris. This is Hendry. Worthington not diving in, but Henry's got round on the outside, clips it in nicely and headed away there. Fox not really getting it away. Oh, it's there! Chris Woods, the England goalkeeper, can't believe it. A first-time strike by the substitute, Willie Faulkner. 26 minutes gone. And Middlesbrough take the lead here at Hillsborough. Beautiful strike with the left foot, in off the post. For Hignett, leaving that for Faulkner. Headed away there by Shirtliff. Oh, first-time shot! Beautifully struck by Jamie Pollock, the England youth star. 38 minutes gone. And Middlesbrough take a 2-0 lead here at Hillsborough. First time shot, and Woods can't reach it. Collett hasn't had too much to do in the Middlesbrough goal so far, and this is Peake going through a beautiful ball into the path there of Hendry. Hendry's lob, and it's there! Oh, what a goal! 3-0 to Middlesbrough. 51 minutes into this game. And Chris Woods, the England keeper, stranded by this superb lob. Tackle from Fleming. The corner for Wednesday. Worthington. Haven't got that one away, it's bouncing all over the time, and it's there! Chris Bart-Williams pulls one back for Sheffield Wednesday. Making the run on the left. Sheridan. This is Worthington. Chance to get the cross in. Does so. Shot coming across. Oh, and it came off Morris. An own goal there. Middlesbrough living dangerously now. Still leading by 3 goals to 2 though, and a chance here maybe to increase the lead. Good run this by Hignett. Hignett's through, gets the shot in, oh, and just tipped over the top by Woods. A magnificent effort, a magnificent save.
What can you say, as Borough are scripted a fantasy farewell to the Premier League? Alas, this victory not enough, as Sheffield United and Palace both win. It is ironic that their 1 year in the Premier League should be extinguished at Hillsborough, just as their 1 year in the old First Division was 4 years previous. With nothing but pride at stake, all are determined to bow out with a show against the high-flying Canaries.
Sutton plays the ball through to Okoko. Chance for Norwich. Collett again saves. Second attempt, Norwich take the lead. The youngster made the save the first time of asking, but the ball broke again, and this time took neatly in between defender and post. Hendry the ball over the top for Hignett to chase. It's a long chase on, the ball behind for a corner. It's Craig Hignett, who's on the left-hand side of the defender. Robbie Mustoe to the right, and there's only one option really, and that ball behind for a corner, the first of the game, to Middlesbrough. And Hignett to take. Big men are up. Comes to Faulkner, hits the crossbar by Willie Faulkner. Willie had a lot more room and a lot more time than he probably imagined. Craig Hignett, who eventually worked himself out of danger. Fleming. Robbie Mustoe. Ball down the line for Henry to chase. The crowd rise at Ayresome Park. Fleming drives the ball in and high. Gunn comes out. Gunn's lost it. Faulkner! 1-1 in Ayresome Park. The cross came in from Fleming on 33 minutes. Gunn came well off his line to try and collect the ball. Flapped at it. It fell to Faulkner. And despite the thigh of a defender, it sailed into the back of the net. 1-1 here at Ayresome Park. 33 minutes gone. To Fleming. Back to Peake. Peake doing well, creating the yards to get the cross in, flicked on. It falls to Mustoe, a chance for Middlesbrough, deflected, hits the crossbar again, and it's still not clear. Faulkner twisting and turning, trying to make an opening to get the ball in. But Rule Fox can now clear for Norwich City. It's good work, strong running by Andy Peake. And chipped over, looking for Paul Wilkinson. It's Hendry twisting and turning on the edge of the box, chipping the ball in. Wilkinson's header! Middlesbrough 2-1 into the lead. It came from the far side, the left-hand side, on 19 minutes of the second half. And twisting and turning, John Hendry could play the ball into the penalty area. And Wilkinson's diving header, it was touched into the back of the net by Gunn. But Middlesbrough leading 2-1. Come back looking for the equaliser. Good cross by Fox. Good header. Hits the crossbar. Chance for a Koku. 2-2 at Ayresome Park. 2 goals in the space of a minute. Fox, provider of the cross, which led to the equaliser for City. Twisting and turning. Playing it back to Crook. Chip forward. Another chance for City. Hits the... No, I was going to say the crossbar, but it's in. It's 3-2 Norwich. White to Hendry. And Hendry gets the return the ball. A chance for John Hendry. Going to strike it from distance. John Hendry equalises for Middlesbrough. The ball driven from the edge of the penalty area. An astonishing end of season game here at Ayresome Park. The ball played through a 1-2 with Wilkinson. Hendry picked up that loose ball, ran to the edge of the area, and as he was being challenged by 2 players, one on either side, drew back the foot and drove it past Brian Gunn in the Norwich City goal. 29 minutes gone in the second half. Middlesbrough 3, Norwich City 3.
Started well and finished well. 44 points was never going to be enough, but had we won against Norwich, 46 points I would have thought a couple of months ago would have been a big enough total, but you know, it's a freak year anyway. I mean, for Palace to get relegated with 49 points from 42 games is very, very unusual. It only happens about once every 5 years when you get that difference between games played and points. So it was going to be a tough league anyway. I think we were good enough to get 50 to 55 points. The fact that we didn't can be laid at our own doorstep through conceding silly goals. You know, people say that often we didn't score in enough games and we didn't do this. We scored 54 goals and that's plenty. I just hope that we've learnt. I just hope the players and everybody has learnt the harsh lessons that we've received this year. But I don't know. Obviously we've contributed to our own downfall, conceding ridiculous goals and letting winning situations slip away from us, away from home back in September and October. And we've scored enough goals. 54 goals is quite respectable. The spirit's okay. Attacking wise, we've shown some good skills. I mean, we've scored 3 goals in each of the last 3 games, but we've conceded 70 odd, and that's the biggest single reason, plus the injury situation in the middle of the season, why we're getting relegated.
Perhaps there is a feeling within the ranks they had not done themselves justice. There is no more bitter pill to swallow than that of relegation, yet on the day, Borough had matched the best. Inexperience told in the end, a lack of consistency not helped by a plethora of injuries, which badly disrupted team selection. The side that a year earlier had gained promotion on the back of a rock-solid defence capitulated to finish with the worst goals against record in the Premier League. But there was still much to admire, and with a clutch of aspiring young stars eager to make their mark, Lenny Lawrence has the ingredients for yet another promotion push in 1994. The spirit, the will to succeed is unquestionable. So come on, Borough. Middlesbrough.